Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Fabio Palvelli. This is the wrong hat. Wait a second. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Fabio Palvelli and I'm a designer. On this channel every week I share a little bit of my life as well as tips and tricks on how to be a better designer. If this is the first time you're here, please do consider subscribing. In today's video we're gonna talk about artists and burnouts. Artists are sensitive people. It is that sensitivity that makes us aware of the world around us and therefore creative in the way that other people aren't. Because of that, it is a common issue for people working in this field to suffer from nervous breakdowns, creative blocks, burnouts, and in some cases even depression. I've been thinking of doing some videos around the topic of artists and their mental health for a while now. With my channel, I try to inspire people to do more and better with the hope to help the whole archivist community to grow and develop for the better. I always try to share a positive message. No one likes boring and depressed, so it is my job to make you feel like everything will be alright. Even because, in a way, deep inside, I genuinely know that it will be. If you're having a downer time, you just need to learn to understand yourself and the way you feel about things so that you can prevent the worst from happening. This video, it is not by coincidence, since recently I found myself very close to have a nervous breakdown. Therefore, I thought to take a break and reorganize my priorities in order to avoid the burnout. First of all, let me tell you what happened. About 6 months ago, I decided to take some classes with a senior designer from one of these big production companies. This did not come out cheap, the guy is a profi and had to be paid dearly. My goal was to boost my knowledge and skills in order to improve my understanding of 3D and eventually grow my set of skills. I did not really have any sort of specific goal in mind. I was just genuinely interested in learning more and maybe use those extra skills within the context of some new personal 3D projects. At the same time, thanks to my YouTube videos, the attention that I was getting from the outside, I was making the decision to take on more consulting clients. I went from 3 clients to 10 clients from a period going from September to January. That happened actually way too fast. The amount of responsibilities and the time that I had to put into following those clients was something I did not anticipate. As a result, I had to drop half of those clients, and that came as a disappointment to me. At the same time, 2 big software companies came knocking at my door with the idea to work exclusively together. Unfortunately, this did not happen. I'm not sure anymore if this was a good or a bad thing, but in a way, it did leave a bit of a weird taste in my mouth. Whilst doing all these things, I was, and still am, working on creating the D2 media company, making all these videos and interviews that you guys enjoy so much. I know that for many this might not look like a lot of work, but it is. I was tracking my hours recently, despite knowing that I had to take it easy and not go all in 100%, and all of a sudden I realized that I was working most days about 16 hours a day and very often 7 days a week. And this basically since September 2017. The last few months that led to right now, I spent on the road going to events and meetups, and because of that, I had to slow down the production of my YouTube videos, which is in a way my only personal creative outlet, at least at the moment. On top of that, whilst I was on the road, my laptop crashed, therefore I had to push back 2 deadlines, which made me look like a total incompetent with the clients involved. It was just a combination of unfortunate events and situations. The worst thing is that I started to take all of these things unreasonably personal. I basically became my own crazy client and had been dealing with myself as a crazy client would deal with an artist, if that makes any sense to you. The biggest mistake I had made was not being focused. Instead of keeping my eyes on one thing only, I kept my eyes on 10 things at the same time. I stopped having one goal and started considering multiple goals as a main goal. As Chris Doe says, fuzzy goals equal fuzzy results. And the funny thing is that I tell you guys this stuff over and over in my videos. I basically ended up not following my own advice. Of course, I was being given all these opportunities, and for fear of missing out, I ended up being very dispersive, starting a dozen different projects at the same time and finishing none of them. Well, maybe one or two. Believe it or not, as bad as this was, it ended up being a learning experience for me. Now, you might be listening to me and think that I'm just a big wuss and that I should stop complaining because others would kill to have my life. And in a way, you're right. In fact, I am thankful for what I have, and I'm not complaining. It is just that sometimes things might affect you in a way that you might not anticipate. And trust me, this can happen to anyone. The best way to react to this is not to fight back, but simply let things go. In the past, I had burnouts because I cared so much about some of the things that I was doing that I did not prioritize my needs in the way I was supposed to. As a consequence, from overworking, I hit a few creative blocks, which I ended up ignoring. I kept pushing through, working my hands to the bone, and as a result I found myself in situations where I was completely exhausted, I did not know which way was up, and had no clue on how to proceed. They say that in love, those who win are those who care the least. And as much as I hate this say, I do see a lot of truth in it. If you do love something, you will do anything to keep it. If you love 3D, you will do anything for 3D. If you let this transpire with your clients, they're gonna make their business interactions about you. And they will push you to the point where you're gonna kill yourself with work in order for you to preserve what you have and what you love. There is virtually no way to prevent yourself from getting a burnout. Chances are you might get it once or twice in your creative life. I know how it feels to work really hard and not being appreciated, or what it's like to put in a lot of hours and get paid very little. Please do understand that these things are just momentary and they will go away eventually. Learn to know yourself and learn how to take some time off. Make it a priority to go for a walk. Do it first thing in the morning. Take breaks, meditate, watch Netflix, read a book. Do understand that mental health is also a result of how much time you give yourself to regenerate your creative resources. Mind you that these resources often can be stimulated by recreative activities that have nothing to do with your job, like sports or gardening, maybe traveling. I don't have to tell you what it is. It is your job to find out. One more thing before I conclude, and this goes against my own interest as a wannabe YouTuber: get off the internet and get away from all this noise. The information overflow provided by the internet can kill your creative mojo. For example, Facebook groups are very often flooded with absolutely amazing work. This can be a good thing. People can find inspiration, maybe also use some images as a blueprint for their own projects. However, as an artist, especially if you're nearing a low time or a creative block, seeing so many other good projects being published every day can actually stress you out, making you feeling like you're not achieving as much as other people are. Another example I can give you: since September 2017, I have bought about 20 Udemy courses just because for some weird reason they're always on like 90% discount. Each course guarantees you that you will learn something new. Don't get me wrong, I love Udemy, but because of this over availability of choice, I now have like 200 hours of unwatched videos, anything from Marvelous Designer to how to grow your Instagram account, from knitting for beginners to how to make a public speech. And as a result, I look at my Udemy account and I do not know where to start. And to me, this is stressful. I feel like shit because I know I bought those courses, but I'm not learning any of that stuff. I know in my videos I tell you to learn something new whenever it's possible, but this should be done with a goal in mind and an intention. The other day, chatting online with my good friend Lasse of Xoyo, he said something very clever. Learning something new does not have always something to do with who you are professionally. Take up a hobby, grow your mind in directions that are different from your professional ones, and don't worry, something good is gonna come out of it. Thank you, Lasse. At the moment of making this video, this is golden advice. Also, one more thing, and this comes from me. Do not forget to smile. I promise, things will get better. See you guys next week.